The day of my surgery was marked in red on our fridge calendar for months. It wasn't cosmetic, elective, or something that could be delayed. I had waited 2 years for this moment, a chance to finally walk without the searing nerve pain that had plagued my leg since the accident. But that morning, as I waited in my hospital gown with the IV already in my arm, I received a single text from my mom. "Good luck today. Your sister needs us at her puppy's shoot. It's her big chance with Petfluence." I blinked at the screen. No, "we love you." No, "we're on our way." No, "we're proud." Just a casual brush-off like my surgery, my pain, was a minor inconvenience in their perfectly curated social media lifestyle. They had always treated my sister, Grace, like a porcelain trophy. She could do no wrong. When I graduated med school, they didn't even attend. They were in Miami because Grace had a modeling opportunity. For a dog food brand, they sent a photo of her holding a chihuahua in a designer leash while I gave my valedictorian speech in a rented gown. I should have been numb to it by then, but something about that day broke something in me. I had gone through so much. The accident during my internship, the long, painful recovery, rebuilding my dreams from a wheelchair, clawing my way through medical school. And still, my parents didn't show up, not when it mattered most. I made it through surgery alone. No flowers, no visitors, just a nurse named Betrayal who squeezed my hand when I woke up, whispering, "You did great, Dr. Rivers." That day, I decided something. I was done chasing their approval. I was done shrinking myself to make room for Grace's spotlight. 2 years later, I opened my own private orthopedic clinic. It wasn't flashy, it didn't make the news, but it was mine. Built from sleepless nights, student loans, and the fire of a daughter who knew she deserved better. And as fate would have it, Grace's glittering lifestyle began to crumble. The sponsorships slowed, the followers dropped, and the brands moved on to newer, shinier influencers. She showed up at my clinic one day, not as a model, but looking for a job. She needed stability, benefits, a real paycheck. The puppy modeling world wasn't so glamorous anymore. I sat behind my desk, in the clinic I built with zero help, in the city I had made my own, and looked her in the eyes. "Why here?" I asked. She didn't answer right away, but I saw the fear in her eyes, the realization, the irony. I leaned back in my chair, folded my arms, and smiled, not out of revenge, but out of quiet recognition. Life has a way of coming full circle. I woke up groggy in the recovery room, disoriented and aching, my vision still cloudy from the anesthesia. The nurse gently adjusted my IV and whispered, "Your surgery went well. You're lucky to have gotten through it alone." Alone. That word punched me in the chest harder than any incision. I blinked rapidly, hoping maybe my mother's familiar voice would echo down the hallway, or I'd see my father pacing nervously with coffee in hand like he always did at hospitals. But no one came. No one peeked through the door. No one even texted. After being cleared to go home, I sat in the hospital lobby, still bandaged and weak, holding on to hope that someone, anyone, would show up. Instead, it was my neighbor from 2 blocks away, Mr. Lane, who picked me up after I called him in embarrassment. He didn't ask questions, didn't judge, just said, "You don't deserve this kind of loneliness." When I got home, the truth unfolded in the ugliest way possible. My phone buzzed with a message from my cousin Sarah. "I can't believe they missed your surgery for that puppy photo shoot. Your mom posted 43 pictures of Chloe in a tutu and even got her featured in the local pet magazine. I'm so sorry." It was like being slapped with glitter-coated cruelty. I clicked on my mother's social media post. There they were. My parents, my sister Emma, and Chloe, the prized golden retriever, posing on a makeshift mini runway surrounded by balloons, dog cupcakes, and even a pas de cure station. The caption read, "So proud of Chloe's first professional photo shoot. Memories that matter." Memories that matter? I was recovering from abdominal surgery alone and aching while they were sipping mimosas and brushing dog fur into bows. They didn't even call. Not once. I realized then, this wasn't just neglect. This was willful erasure. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I made a plan. I moved out that same month and doubled down on finishing medical school. I stopped returning their calls. I blocked my sister after she had the audacity to text, "You're being dramatic. It was just a small surgery." It was a small family. That moment of abandonment became fuel. I took night shifts, hustled through my residency, and worked part-time as a research assistant. I poured my heartbreak into ambition, and when I opened my own dermatology and cosmetic surgery clinic 3 years later, I didn't invite a single one of them to the ribbon cutting. But life, in its poetic wisdom, brings people full circle. 2 years after my clinic became one of the top-rated in the region, Emma messaged me from a brand new number. "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Do you know anyone hiring in your field?" I stared at the message for minutes. Apparently, the influencer career she launched after Chloe's stardom didn't last long. Pet photos didn't pay the bills once the novelty wore off and sponsors dropped her. And, as I later found out, my parents' funds ran dry supporting her lifestyle while she jumped from brand collabs to failed podcast ideas. I didn't respond. Instead, I posted a job opening. Receptionist, admin assistant for busy cosmetic clinic. No experience required, training provided. A week later, she applied. She didn't recognize the name of my company, having ignored my achievements for so long. She didn't know I was the founder. My HR assistant scheduled her for an interview, and I waited in the observation room with the one-way glass. When she entered, her eyes darted around nervously. She was thinner, less vibrant, visibly stressed. My assistant asked, "Why do you want this job?" Emma answered, "I really need a fresh start. I used to think I'd be famous, but I just want to work somewhere stable now. Somewhere people treat each other with respect." Respect. From the girl who said my pain was dramatic. From the girl who let me sit alone in a hospital bed while she played dog stylist. I walked into the room, and her face went pale. "You'll start Monday," I said, smiling thinly. "Dress professionally. Chloe can't come to work." She opened her mouth to say something, but didn't. Just nodded. My parents found out a week later. My mother texted, "You gave Emma a job, but you won't come over for dinner? You're being petty." I replied with a single word, invoice. Because I remembered every second they took from me. Every hour I waited for their love. Every moment they traded my existence for a dog's photo shoot. Emma works under me now. She clocks in, files papers, answers phones. She doesn't post selfies in the office. She's quiet, humble, and maybe, just maybe, starting to realize what real priorities look like. And every time I pass her desk on the way to my private office, I remember that silence in the hospital. And I never let it forget me. The first time I saw her walk into the clinic as an applicant, I thought it was a joke. Tiffany, my golden child sister who once said I was too dull to ever hold a scalpel, stood in the waiting room, dressed in a beige blazer 2 sizes too big, with a fake smile plastered across her face. She looked nervous, humble, a version of her I'd never seen before. I had built that clinic from scratch. After years of working graveyard shifts, patching up emergencies, sleeping in on-call rooms, and teaching myself things others had to be spoon-fed, I was finally running my own surgical center. My name was on the wall, on the mugs, and on the thank you cards from patients whose lives we changed. And here she was, the same sister who once told me, "Maybe if you were more fun, Mom and Dad would show up for you too." I walked out to the lobby. She stood to greet me. Her eyes widened, probably realizing too late that I was the Dr. Elaine Morgan listed as chief of surgery. You run this place?" she asked, blinking as if trying to process the reality. "I don't run it," I said calmly. "I built it." Her mouth opened, then closed. That signature Tiffany confidence had evaporated. Her fingers fidgeted with her bag strap like she was waiting for the floor to swallow her whole. I didn't know," she stammered. "Things have been rough. I just thought I'd apply somewhere familiar. Mom said—" I raised my hand. "I'm not interested in Mom's thoughts," I said. "Not anymore." There was a long silence. She looked at me, not like a sister looks at a sister, but the way a fallen queen looks at the new ruler. Resentment, shame, hunger, but most of all, regret. "I just need a chance," she whispered. I've changed. Things haven't been going well. Dad got laid off. Mom's been sick. I've been working minimum wage. I didn't know you were—" "You didn't know I was what?" I asked. She swallowed. "Important." That word sat between us like a ticking clock. I thought of the time I begged our parents to come to my med school white coat ceremony. How Mom said she had a nail appointment and Tiffany's dog was a little anxious that day. I thought of the night before my surgery when I called to say I was scared, and Dad said, "Good luck, kid," before hanging up to join Tiffany at a photo shoot for her puppy's Instagram account. Now here we were. The tables had turned. I looked at her, broken, quiet, human, and I realized something. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about power and what you do with it. I gave her the job, but not the one she expected. I made her my intern. Lowest rank, paperwork, filing, cleaning up after surgeries, observing, not operating. I gave her the same tasks I once did while she mocked me from her high school dance team. Some days she cried. Some days she worked like her life depended on it. And slowly, I saw her shift. Not out of fear, but understanding. One evening, as I packed up my things, she came to my office door. "I know I don't deserve it," she said softly. "But thank you for not slamming the door." I didn't respond. Instead, I handed her a patient chart. She read it. It was for Mom. "She has early-stage ovarian cancer," I said. "If she starts treatment now, we might have time." Tiffany looked at me, stunned. "She doesn't know yet," I added. "And no one else knows I ordered the test. But I will not let my anger with them get in the way of doing what's right." Tears welled in her eyes. "You're a better person than any of us," she whispered. "No," I said. "I'm just not like you." That was the last conversation we had for a while. 3 months later, as I stood at the clinic's holiday charity gala, greeting donors and hugging patients, I saw her, Tiffany, wearing scrubs, confidently leading a group of nurses through prep procedures. She had stayed, she had grown, and when a new patient arrived, nervous, uninsured, trembling, Tiffany took his hand and said, "Don't worry, you're in good hands." In that moment, the final twist wasn't revenge. It was transformation. She had come in broken, and somehow, by standing under me, she had learned to stand on her own. That Christmas, I didn't get a puppy photo shoot or a family dinner. I got something better. Peace. And the knowledge that no matter how cruel the past had been, I had rewritten the ending on my terms. With grace, power, and a scalpel in hand.